Hey, you're on Better Body Expert TV, and I'm Andre Farnell. I wanted to talk about one of the hugest things that's holding a lot of people back from getting in shape, becoming as fit as they want to be. And it's something that when I ask somebody what, you know, what it is that's holding them back, they really can't articulate it. So I've come to notice that a lot of people, when I introduce maybe a new way of working out with them, maybe a new way of thinking about a concept that's going to open up so many things in their life, they hit me with this. Well, it is what it is. That's the number one saying. It is what it is. I've always done it like that. Uh, it's it's just a habit. So those are statements that people say regarding a lot of things. So you might introduce a new way of, let's say, putting together a smoothie for someone, and usually it's methodical and it takes a long time for them to make the smoothie before they head off to work. So I give them a quicker way to do it, and then I check with them a week later. And a smoothie is very trivial, but people do this with many things in life. And I asked them, how's it been going? Have you been able to make the smoothie the way that I showed you, that was faster and could get you out of the door quicker? And most times they say no. And then when I asked them, okay, well, why weren't you able to do it? It's like, well, did you try the new way? They're like, well, that just wasn't that comfortable for me to do it like that. You know, so instead of them, taking the new guidance, they fight for the old way that things were. And when you're fighting for the way that things were, or the way things always have been, then guess what? You're never gonna get more than what you got. It's it plays in life in so many different ways, and especially it plays that way with fitness. If you're doing something that has worked for 100,000 people before you, and when you try it, it doesn't work for you, guess what? Don't do it anymore. Don't let something that you always have done erase your progress. Because in essence, when you say it is what it is, or you say, um, that's just how I do it. When you say things like that, all progress, all possibility is chopped up, thrown away in the garbage. So I challenge you to ask yourself, where do I get stuck and always say, it is what it is? Where do I let my habits run my life instead of me running the habits that I come across, or the habits that I create? In my life, I've overcome a lot of things, and one of the keys to making any change that's any way, shape, or form permanent, any way, shape, or form beneficial, is that you have to be always the person that's in charge of your habits, the formation of them, noticing in your life when you're doing a habit and seeing what outcome is the result of it. I'm going to give you an instance from my childhood. Growing up in Brooklyn in the 80s, there was a lot of like drugs and a lot of drug dealers, a lot of people getting robbed, a lot of slashings, things like that in Bed-Stuy where I grew up. And there was a block that I used to walk down every single day. Now, that block, it used to be a cool block. Like all my friends used to walk it, everything like that. Then I noticed that one day I got robbed on the block on the way home. The next day, taking that same street, that same route from school. This is elementary school I'm talking about. Not even like high school yet. I got all my pockets frisked one time. One time I had to get in a fight. I used to walk with my brothers and a couple of other foster kids that grew up with me. Every single time I went down that block from 3 o'clock to about 5 o'clock, something happened. So you know what I did? I said, screw that way of going home. I got to create a new way to get home. So I would take a way that took a little bit longer just so I could avoid all the people that were robbing there, all the people that were doing all sorts of drug selling and stuff like that. I had to go around that just simply because I wasn't getting the outcome I wanted. It's the same thing with fitness. It's the same thing with anything you want to do. Evaluate what your current habit is around it. Then once you see the habit, check out the outcome. Once you see the outcome, vet it and see if it's desirable or not. If it's not a desirable outcome, then you have to say, okay, it's time to create a new habit. And the way that you create a new habit is by repetition. You have to constantly do it. It has to be something that you make a priority, meaning that it's on your mind all the time. And you have to forcefully do it. That's the hard part. You know, that's the reason why so many people are victims of their habits, is because they're hard to form in the beginning. But the human body is very adaptable. Every single time that you lift weights and you do repetitions over and over and over again, your body adapts. And that's the way that life adapts to the creation of a new habit anywhere. So take that into consideration, that you're bigger than every habit. You have to be the controller of all the habits. And never fall on, oh, it just is what it is. That's the most common thing that I hear a lot of powerless, shiftless people say, is it is what it is. If you got that in your vocabulary now, get rid of it, because you're no longer running the show if it is what it is. All I'm saying is make it what it is. Yo, this is Dre, Better Body Expert. Subscribe to the channel. Create some new habits through repetition. Get over that point of, it's going to be a point of hard difficulty. That's okay. It's to be expected. And once you get over that, you get into what is called the flow or momentum. And the flow or the momentum is everything. Subscribe to the channel, people. Share this channel. I'll be dropping tips, everything great, to the world, because I've done a lot in my life and I just want to share it. All right? This is Andre Farnell. Peace. And as always, you're greater than any circumstance. You're greater than any past conditioning. And you're responsible for sharing that authentic you with the rest of the world. Peace.